Why did I write this? What was I thinking? What have I done? I'm bad at tagging. I'm going to hell and I blame Tumblr. I need a hug. What you just heard was the thought process of the most sane AO3 writer. Hi again, dent heads, and I just want to reiterate to you that I have read fanfiction and still do be reading it. I've made a few videos reading the author's notes that these writers leave to show their poor living conditions and how they power through them no matter what, all in order to get that next chapter out for free content for their readers. But another crucial part of the Unhinged AO3 experience is all the weird tags you see attached to the stories you read. If you don't know, tags are something a writer puts on their story to indicate the type of content that will be in the fic. This ranges from characters, relationships, content warnings, genres, and a whole lot of other things. But sometimes the authors tend to treat the tags like a live firing range. They will just completely empty a clip of their uninhibited bullet storm of thought into that section. Reading them all the way through comes with the risk of getting many extra holes added to your body. I said if I got 40k likes on the last AO3 video, I'd look at some, and here we are. If you enjoy this vid, there will be this big card at the end that takes you to that video about AO3 authors just absolutely struggling. And did you know that only a fifth of y'all are subscribed with noties on? Do you know what breaking all the bones in your body feels like? When you don't sub and hit that bell, that's basically what I feel, except it's emotionally. Come on, it only takes 2 seconds, you'll never miss another upload, and you can always undo it later if you decide you hate me. Can't write smut, I have Catholic guilt. God damn. Well, just damn in this case. Do not use the Lord's name in vain. This is like one of the best examples I've ever seen of that Catholic shame stuff working. I am a slut for water. I mean, yeah, most people are. That's why being horny for something is called being thirsty, denthead. I love that term so much. I made it myself. It's like you got a crater in your skull. If you're watching this video or have watched any of my videos, it means you are one. I got a new keyboard and I can't make it lowercase. I wrote this before I got the keyboard. I promise it's normal. Never mind, I got it. I forgot how caps lock works. Okay, this is easy to make fun of, but I specifically can't do it because I have an equally, if not more, embarrassing story. When I was like 14 or 15, I saved up my money to get my first gamer desktop. I was ecstatic, and it went great for the first week. Then one day, whenever I tried to click on stuff, it would just open random windows and not do what I was telling it to do, like where I was clicking and stuff. Everything was glitching, nothing was working, and I was gutted. I felt like an idiot and really immature, like I had managed to get a virus on the computer I spent all those hours working to get, less than 10 days into having it. I made that walk of shame and took the computer to Geek Squad at Best Buy, where they hooked up a keyboard to see if they could replicate the issue, and that shit had no problem. It turned out the Alt button was just pressed down and stuck on my keyboard at home, and somehow I didn't notice. So the issue is I was literally alt-clicking the whole time. Kind of AIDS. That's also when I learned pressing alt changes what clicking does. Recreational drug use. I always feel like a cop typing that out. Once again, treating the timeline like some very wet clay. Welcome to my stupid little pottery wheel. Well, well, well. If it isn't my old adversary, the feds. You little suckers at the CIA got your hand in every niche of online culture, don't you? Call of Duty lobbies, military esports teams, speed running. It makes sense you'd have a team dedicated to government-funded fanfiction. To be honest, this whole fic is just a big flex. I wanted to prove I could write rhyming sex. The thought popped into my mind and I couldn't say no. That doesn't mean it wasn't stupid hard though. Yeah, I'm sure somebody got stupid hard while writing or reading your slam poetry. Emphasis on the slam, like slamming into someone's butthole, I mean. I kinda love how stream of conscious these tags can get. It's just an author dumping as much creative process into the tags as they did the actual story. I don't know how many of you guys actually read them, but that's also how I get when I write my YouTube descriptions. It's my best attempt at spamming as many keywords as possible. I originally wrote this on my 3DS on PictoChat. To me, this is the fanfiction equivalent of famous music video director Cole Bennett shooting and editing music videos all on an iPhone. He does it just to show that you don't need fancy equipment to make something cool. You just start with the tools you have in front of you and make what you're able. Florida alternate universe. It's nuts that the outside perception of Florida is of a place so wild that it has to be from another dimension altogether. That's not what an AU means explicitly, but the living conditions there are so unique to some people that having comic book characters live there is enough to justify it as its own genre. Florida's got some fun stuff. Surprise adoption, which some might call kidnapping. It's not kidnapping if you called dibs. You know, as much as I've enjoyed it over the course of my life, we have to recognize the truth. Reading and writing fanfic is a very terminally online interest to have. And as a result, sometimes we make up words for stuff that already have names so they sound a bit nicer. Surprise adoption is a perfect example of this. It sounds happy, like an orphan gets a parent and wasn't expecting it. It's a good thing that happened to them out of nowhere. Never mind that the person adopting them might be the reason they're an orphan in the first place. It's a small and unimportant detail if you ask me. The inherent homoeroticism of stabbing your enemy / past lover. I am probably part of a very select group of people who regularly reads fanfiction and who also costs up the money to Dana White to watch every numbered UFC event every month. I love combat sports, man. Edwards knockout on Usman last Saturday? That shit was wild. I was jumping all over the place. I was super into it. But there is just a level of physical closeness that two people fighting involves, especially especially when grappling. And it makes me think maybe I like these two very different things for not so different reasons. Did I write this out of being moderately horny for Ben Shapiro? Also, yes. I gotta tell you, I've seen people want to make love to a lot of weird things over the life of this channel. Peanut butter, FNAF animatronics, James Marriott. But this is somehow the thing I am least willing to hear anybody out on. I am not Googling the best place to shoot someone or where they bleed the fastest. I have a reputation. Though I did Google, if you get shot in the head, will you convulse? You are welcome. I love the idea that not typing it into Google specifically is what keeps you safe from getting on a watch list. Like, it's safe to type this stuff on AO3 because the FBI saw what was on that site for a few seconds and are too scared to go in now, even though we've already established they are most definitely in there. Everyone is gay. Straight people don't exist, obviously. The fact of the matter is that everybody being gay in fanfics is the biggest cope of all time, because in reality, it's gay people who aren't real. They get to exist for 1 month out of the year, and then they disappear. This is how people in denial deal with the fact that the hoax of homosexuals is just like Santa. A lie. Author has complicated relationship with the city of Los Angeles. If you don't have an outright hostile relationship with LA, I'm generally surprised. Nothing wrong if you like that city, but you don't find many people who would choose to live there instead of just visit these days. But currently, I'm thinking of the author being in a literal relationship with LA, where they have broken up and gotten back together on multiple occasions, and they don't really know how they feel about each other. So when an old friend asks the author how the relationship with LA is going, they look sad and respond with, "It's complicated." And now I'm basically just writing my own fanfiction at this point. And moving on. Sans is racist. Why is that a tag? I thought that was just Undertale canon. I wouldn't know for sure, as I've only played a pacifist run. Too pussy for that No Mercy rap. British used as a synonym for gay. Ah yes, two different types of people who don't exist. It makes sense to use them interchangeably. Piss, not in a kinky way. It probably tells you a lot about the average person perusing AO3, because they had to clarify that the P was not kink related, instead of the other way around being the default. Choking, not sexual, no beta. See, there it is again. When I think of choking, I generally default to murder. At least as far as you know. What, you thought I was gonna self-report that much? I've done enough of that by even making this video. Paranoia isn't paranoia if you're right. This is the truest tag I've seen in this whole video, man. Everybody says that I'm unhinged and insane for hoarding large amounts of presidential memorabilia in the event that a mass extinction event happens and we lose all records of our past. But eventually the day is gonna come around when everything I predicted comes true, and you'll be there feeling real dumb, or you'll be dead. One shot, again. I don't know, I can only do one shots because I'm so bad at committing to things, like my parents with their marriage. Well, that explains why you're on AO3 to start with. The author regrets nothing. The author regrets everything. The author has so many other whips they should be working on, but instead wrote this and cried, author is playing fast and loose with canon. Some tonal whiplash right there, man. It's the struggle that every creative person who is creating too often thinks of. You already have all these children you should probably worry about feeding before anything else. But you decide that your old kids are really boring and you don't like them anymore, so you have some new ones and let the old babies starve out of neglect. Author does not know how to throw knives. Author does know how to shoot a bow. If I had to guess, this is probably a meta explanation for why one of the characters in the fanfic uses a certain weapon over another, and it's a funny little example of how in fanfic, authors and writers will project hard onto the characters they like. Not even talking about self-inserts, they'll make a part of their lives in the fanfic a trait of the character they're writing about. I know this one author who gives a character different pet cats across their different stories, and every pet cat they put in the story is actually just one of their real-life cats. Alternate universe, no COVID-19. Aw man, what I wouldn't give to be there right now. They really have wish fulfillment for everything on this site. I thought Delaware was a plastic container thingy. It's a state? American learns geography in real time. Now, of course, I, as a businessman, know about Delaware already. And if you don't know why a businessman would know that, then I guess you just don't have that entrepreneur mindset that someone like me does. If you don't write rimming in this fandom, you're just not working with what we've been given. This tag is infinitely funnier when you don't know what fandom it's talking about. You're just made to guess how it could apply to whatever fandom you think it might be. And whether you're correct or not, now the thought of your favorite fandom being rim-centric is stuck in your head. Man fucks a computer? WTF? Computer fucks a man? It gets repaired, don't worry. I can't believe I wrote this, but I don't regret a thing. So many authors have talked about how they can't believe the shit they managed to generate from their fingertips, and I can buy the disbelief angle. But too many of them say, I regret it. Like, don't lie. No, you don't. You keep doing it. Which is why I really respect this author for owning this shit and drawing the clear line in the sand between disbelief and regret. Drinking piss. Ah, yet another horrible creation I regret making. First chapter has no smut for those without piss-oriented brains. I think I need a stiff drink. I'm talking about alcohol, not piss. The booze will dehydrate me faster than that old Bear Grylls technique would anyways. And you know what? This is where I give up. I really can't take it anymore, and I am actively dying on camera. That card I mentioned should be on screen. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on, or I'll cry. Though it doesn't matter as much this time because I'm already crying because of what I went through in this vid. Remember, don't go after anyone I talk talked about today because that's cringe, and this is all meant in good fun. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I really don't know if I can come back after this.